Kenya's presidential hopefuls are holding their second and final public debate Monday, 1 week ahead of the big vote on March 4th.
Well, the latest polls show Prime Minister Raila Odinga locked in a dead heat with Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta. Meantime, the country's leaders are hoping to avoid the violence that followed the 2007 voting. We begin our coverage with VOA's Gabe Joselow in Nairobi.
It's campaign season in the Kibera slum in Nairobi. Walls are plastered with posters as politicians try to pull votes from the sprawling constituency. The area is a stronghold of Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who was an MP for the region. Kibera resident Helen Abuya says she hopes if Mr. Odinga is elected, he will improve the lives of people here.
For Kibera, we are very poor people. We don't have water. We want our rooms to be blocked. We want change. We don't want this mabati. We don't want this type of houses. We want this type.
Kibera is one of the poorest areas of Kenya, with most people living on less than $1 a day. Development has been scarce, and more than anything, residents say they want better opportunities to work. Daniel Aduma has lived in Kibera for the past 25 years. He says he's disappointed with the previous government, and it's time to give someone else a chance.
We have had previous ones, so let's try another tribe, like from the western region. Let's see if they can help.
The population of Kibera is primarily from the Luo community, the same as Mr. Odinga. His main rival, Uhuru Kenyatta, is a Kikuyu. Disputes between Luos and Kikuyu landlords here have led to conflicts in the past.
Violence erupted here in tribally mixed Kibera following the disputed presidential election in 2007. Police had to barricade off the neighborhood for several months to keep the fighting from spreading to other parts of the city. It's more peaceful now, but also more divided, with tribal communities keeping with their own, and tensions remain very high.
Professor Joshua Kavuva with the University of Nairobi says tribalism and politics go hand in hand in Kibera.
In fact, this is the time that class is a dominant thing in the Kenyan politics, but in the slum areas, it is not going to be that because ethnicity is a more overriding factor. And especially knowing the distribution of slums and the presidential candidates, that the two dominant communities that live in slums are also the two dominant communities that are contesting for the presidency.
The vote on March 4th is expected to be extremely close. Opinion polls show the main candidates virtually tied. While Kibera has its favorite, residents are simply hoping more than anything for peace. Gabe Joselow, VOA News, Nairobi.
We actually turn now to Gabe Joselow, who's going to talk to us a little bit about the debates, which I believe are either underway or already started or soon. Gabe Joselow, thank you for joining us today via Skype. Tell us about these debates. It seems as though, well, Uhuru Kenyatta will be participating, right, despite having threatened to pull out.
That's right. Yeah, the debates are just about to get underway here in Nairobi. Kenyatta had initially said he wouldn't participate. He was pretty upset with the first debates, which were held last week, in which he faced a lot of questions and what he thought were unfair questions about the International Criminal Court charges against him. But now these debates are about to get underway with all 8 presidential candidates, including Kenyatta.
What are the issues on the table at this particular debate?
This debate will be more to Mr. Kenyatta's liking because it's going to focus not on ICC, but on economy, land reform, as well as foreign policy. So these are issues that are going to be very much tailored towards a Kenyan audience, towards the Kenyan voters that all of these candidates are trying to court. And everybody is really anticipating this and looking forward to what the candidates had to say.
You know, just briefly tell us what was the, at least, feedback that you're getting from the last debate and whether many really are looking at this second debate to determine who they want to vote for. Have they really made up their minds? And is this just, at the end of the day, just entertainment?
Yeah, a lot of voters will tell you that they have made up their minds. The candidates, of course, see it differently. You know, this race is very, very close. The two main candidates, Prime Minister Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, are pretty much tied in all of the opinion polls. And so they're pulling out all the stops, everything they can do to court voters, not necessarily from their main base, you know, but also people who might have been considering third or fourth candidates, but now want to be part of a winning team or endorse one of the two front runners. So they take this very, very seriously, and there's always a chance that this race could go in any direction.
Now, you know, Gabe, I can't help but imagine that 2007 is still really much on the minds of a lot of citizens, a lot of the Kenyan citizens as they approach the polls with the violence that broke out. What is the mood like at the moment as the dates draw near?
That is something that is on everybody's mind, and everybody will tell you that they want peace. You know, supporters of Raila Odinga will say that if his opponent Kenyatta is elected, that they will be peaceful, they'll accept the results, and people from the other side say the exact same thing. But you can't ignore that there is tension out here, and there have been, allegations. Raila Odinga just last week, or earlier this week rather, accused the head of civil service here, Francis Kamemia, of using his influence to support Uhuru Kenyatta's party, and saying that that people involved in the government have been using their influence unfairly. And you're hearing that from other candidates, and election observers have said that all parties are involved in that kind of gamesmanship. So, so there is tension here, and it's going to be a close race, and it looks like candidates might be aligning themselves to dispute the results.
Okay.
So there's a lot of caution in the air as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gabe Joselow. We'll be touching base with you, I guess, during the course of this time.